Hey guys, Max turned 14 on July 7, so I threw him a little party. Hopefully this gives you ideas for party decorations, games, and prizes. I've been reusing these dog balloons since his 12th birthday, so I searched for new decorations. I bought this dog party kit on Amazon. It was on sale for $14 and came with all this stuff. I hung up the bone and paw balloons and added the other balloons onto these stands. I used 2 poles per stand instead of 4 to make them shorter. I made the balloons kind of big, so I used 4 per clip. The clips came with the stands. I made the top balloon smaller. Then I connected them with glue dots, which came with the party kit. I placed a piece of cardboard at the top to secure the balloons. These were used as the finish line for a race. For the banner, I folded over and sewed the top, then added a strip to keep the middle part from sagging. I used my Cricut to cut out and add 14th and max. Aside from actual food, a snack suggestion would be popcorn and potato chips. I ended up making ice with this mold instead of treats. I also bought these mini plush dogs as party favors. One face was a little crooked, but the rest were fine. I made a piñata for Max using the box his party stuff came in. I cut out a bone shape and added a tab at the bottom, then decorated it. I tied this at the bottom because he always uses his paw to get his treats from this toy. I added a small piece of his treat in the toy and the rest inside of the piñata. I also made a regular piñata. I bought these squishies for prizes. I like this one the best. It's a squirrel holding an acorn. I used my Cricut to cut out this hugging dog image that I saw online, and I used glue dots to hold them in place. The squishies also came in a cardboard box, so I made a punch prize box with it. For the cover, I cut out 12 circles on a piece of cardboard. The circles were 3 3/4 of an inch and evenly spaced. Next, I made a box with 12 equal sections. I glued 2 layers of tissue paper to the cover and added his face to the tissue, using a Max stamp that I carved a few years ago. I added the prizes and glued the cover on. Then made trivia questions. Whoever answers the question correctly first punches for a prize. I also printed this spot the difference image that I found online. Then I made a pin the tail on Max. I added gloss to the painted cardboard and covered the tails in tape to laminate them. I used painter's tape so that the cardboard wouldn't peel. Another game we played was fill the bowl. You soak your sponge in a bowl of water, run to your other bowl, and squeeze out the water. Whoever fills it to the top first wins. And here's how they turned out.